to Gloria's channel. Welcome everybody again to Gloria's channel. Yes, we have been touring around. I have been touring around in this lovely, amazing place down in Glastonbury in a farm called Crops Not Shop. And they've got a lot of projects going around. I hope I just finished eating. I hope it's not reflecting. So called Crops Not Shop, and from my experience so far, what I have seen is basically them, because as a little child I was taught in school about, briefly taught the origin of men, that men were wanderers, how men, like the nomadic men, the tribal men, they moved from one place to another with their cattle, and they wandered about, they settled anywhere the night falls, they settled, and they move. That was how they transitioned from one civilization, one bit to another. And this is what I could see here. There's a community, a little community, and I call it an autonomous community on its own. Community of 12 persons. They have a round table, they take turns in cooking, they don't use electric, they use the solar system. They've got spring water that bubbles out, that bubbles from the ground. They all, most of their construction, if not the most, all the construction they have are made from woods and nails. They work with their hands. I couldn't see not even one tractor, maybe just wheelbarrow. That's what I saw, 3 wheels. The one I use, wheelbarrow, shovels, rake, people working on the land. They grow lots of vegetables, veg gardens. They have their herb sections. They blessed with lots of flowers, trees all around, fresh. The air here is so pure. I could feel it. I could breathe fresh air, clean water, colorless, odorless. So what I can see here is people who have gotten to certain point and they said, no, I don't feel comfortable with this Western civilization again. Don't feel comfortable with this lots of lights, rays, what do they call it, EMF, and all that noises, industry, factories. And they said, enough of that. I want to come be where it's solemn, it's quiet, it's nature provides. When it's time to cook, depending on what they are cooking, they've got their roaster. Somebody go up to the veg section and picked them. I took a little bit of the spinach and some of the lettuce. I've eaten the dandelions, and they just go there. Where did your food come from? Over there. They point to it. At the minute, they don't have any animals on the field, but they are walking towards that, and they are also building a retreat sections. If you go to my Facebook, you will see lots and lots of these videos I've put out there in sections where I went to the different sections of it. So now it's just my own experience, what I have seen with my eyes. And then these people that have gotten to that point and they said, no, how did we live without electricity? Some people don't know. Again, this to me, if you live close around this place and you can find out, make out time and come visit this place. You find yourself, you ask yourself, if you live, most especially you live in the cities where you are heavily
There is an
dependent
exciting
on
thing here
electric
down in this farm.
supplies, your gas, you are heavily dependent on the superstores. What happens when these things are cut off? Have you asked yourself, or how can you exist without it? These are the questions. So if you want to know how, come here and find out how people live, because this was not how we started. We didn't start with electricity. We had a time, I came from a proper village whereby we didn't have electric. We used paraffins and all that, how we washed our clothes, how we did things. A lot of people have forgotten how they did things, how they lived before these things we have now. And sometimes you ask yourself, I was in the house one day and our electric cut out. I wanted to heat up the food. There was nothing. I was like, wow. Then it dawned on me and that everything we are using is electric. How do we survive? So you mustn't chalk that out. You may not be born into the generation, you may not be privileged to be born in the generation where they lived without electric, without washing machine, without microwave, without computers and gadgets, but you can learn it because it still exists. There are people out there where they live without these things. So this crops is not shop, it's one of the places you can come and see how people dwell without using electric and how they do things. That to me, if you don't know where the future, at least you should know a bit of the past, which is our history. So you look to, in order to understand the future, you have to look back at the past. So if you, it's a very good place to come down for your retreat. It's a very good place to come and learn about nature, experience, see people, interact with people, detach yourself a bit from the city life and come and experience. This is like a proper village setting. I took a walk with a beautiful lady that took me around, and I kept saying to her that this is reminding me of my village. This reminds me of my village, the trees, the everything, the bushes, having to find your way, you're doing like this. So it's such an amazing thing. I know you may sit down there and say, "Oh, yeah, I feel comfortable in my mansion, in my palace." And no, 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 I don't want that. I don't want to experience that. Well, choice is yours. But if you, for those, this video is not for everybody. Of course, everyone cannot like this video. Everyone may not relate with it. But for those people out there who want to relate with nature, who want to move from some of the the busy and buzzy of city life and all the fuel industrialization, everything that is going on at the minute, and you just want a place where you just feel like, oh, come on, chill out. Come find your way to Glastonbury. Crops is not shops, and this is the perfect place for you. Thank you all. Love you guys. See you in the next one. OG Speaks.